Hi guys, hope you're keeping well. So I recently sat down with Ali of Electric Black, a bit of a new band to me. Discovered them at the tail end of last year when Ali appeared on my good friends over at Beyond the Vibe, their podcast. I think it was sort of November time. Anyway, so I've been checking them out since. So we spoke about their latest single, Calendar Queen, the EP that they released last year, Beggar Thieves, and everything in between. The video for Calendar Queen is amazing, by the way. So go check that out if you haven't already. The EPs are brilliant. It's got 3 originals and a Storm cover of Take Me to Church by Hosier. The album, their first album, an album they're upcoming, number 2. Tour dates with Scarlet Rebels and everything else in between for the remainder of the year. So you can hear what Ali had to say right now. And we're joined by Ali of Electric Black. How you keeping, bud?
Hello, Lee. I'm good, mate. Thank you. Nice to see you. Nice to talk to you.
No, thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it. As we've been chatting sort of offline, you guys are a bit of a new discovery for me. I heard your name floating about, but I'll be honest, I hadn't heard your music for whatever reason. And then saw you on my good friends over at Beyond the Vibe, Aaron and Ryan's podcast. Watched the episode, was liking what I was hearing, so went and checked it out. And yeah, man, fucking loving you guys. So thanks for your time, man. Enjoying what I'm hearing.
Oh, good man. Thank you very much. It's kind of a weird one for us because we've been together 4 years now in this lineup, but I honestly feel like the most sort of traction and legwork we've achieved has come out of the back end of last year, out of the lockdowns. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. It's definitely new wave classic rock movement has a lot of involvement with it. You know, I didn't even know that as a thing until probably about a year ago. And we just kind of hit the ground running out of the lockdown as soon as we could gig. We made a point of getting out there and getting around to a lot more people. And it's really sort of paid dividends, I think. Small dividends, but, people like yourselves, keep saying, oh, not heard of you guys. So we are the new guys on the block, to be fair, though. So
yeah, big new guys, someone's got to come from somewhere, and it's nice to see new bands come through. That's where it's exciting, to be honest. And like you say, it's been a good year for you. You released your Beggars, Thieves and everything in between EP last year, man. That seems to have gone critical acclaim. I've been spinning that one out. Love the rendition, by the way, of Take Me to Church on that. I thought that was wicked.
Nice, thanks, man. It's a bit of a weird one because we're not classically a covers band. We don't traditionally do a lot of covers, but we decided we wanted to put a cover on because, it engages people. They go, oh, I know that song, but I like their version. Who is that by? Da, 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 da. So we, between all our musical influences and potential starting points, we ended up on Hosier's Take Me to Church. We just fanned it up and put a bit of an Electric Black vibe on it. Twisted the arrangement a little bit to suit our full band setup. It was cool, man. Really enjoyed doing it.
I bet, man. Were there any other contenders on the cover front, or was it once you started jamming on Take Me to Church, that was that?
Do you know what? Someone suggested Human by Rag and Bone Man, but actually our friends at The Sun had done a sick version of that.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, I like The Sun's version. Yeah,
I think that's been out for probably 18 months, a couple of years, probably.
A little while, haven't they?
So we were like, no, we can't touch that. And there was probably one or two others, but Take Me to Church quickly became a front runner. And once we started playing it, we're like, okay, yeah, we can do a bit with this.
That's great, man. So yeah, you've obviously been talking. I was saying you guys are a new band to me. So for anyone who's like me, who's discovering you guys, how did the band come together? What kicked it all off?
So it goes back probably 10 years. Me and John, the guitarist, we knew each other from school, from our school years, should we say. Went away and did different things, and then ended up back together jamming in a room in a band around, it would have been 2012 time. Formed a band with some other guys. That went through the motions, fell apart. People came and went. And we almost disbanded the whole idea about 5 years ago, and we went out as a 2-piece. So John is not only a killer guitarist, he's a great drummer. He's a multi-instrumentalist. So we did like a handful of shows as a 2-piece, and which I was absolutely terrified of because I had no one else to hide behind. It was fun, it was liberating, but we decided we need to get the band back together. And it just so happens that the following month, a local band from Bedford called Tequila Mockingbird
Yeah.
Not the one with the girls. There's
Oh,
a
right.
few,
Different
yeah,
one.
there's a few Tequila Mockingbirds. They're a band that we'd played with in Bedford before, and it turns out they were breaking up, disbanding, stopping their project. And we were aware of the band because having played with them before, and Ryan was their bass player.
All right. Okay.
So once we sort of saw through the grapevine, the Facebook grapevines that he was available, we gave him a message and had a jam with him, and that was really cool. And then we played a gig with him, and he said, "Oh, why don't I ask my old drummer to come along?" Which was Matt. So they were like a ready formed rhythm section that they knew each other. They go way back. They're good buddies. So you had like me and John, a ready formed front half, and then the boys with the fat back end, and it just came together real nicely. And Matt was looking for a project. I think he was drumming, doing some function stuff at the time, but he wanted to get back into original stuff. And turns out he really enjoyed kind of what we're working on. And from then, the sound has grown, the vibe's grown. And I think kind of what you're getting a taste for the EP is the stuff that we've built together. The first album was kind of some old stuff that had been knocking around, and then obviously we recorded it, the four of us. But what we're finding now is our sound as this finalized Electric Black lineup, which is really cool. So yeah, we're essentially a non-famous supergroup that's just amalgamated together.
like all the best ones are, mate.
That's the long story short. Anyway.
So do you feel like the EP was more of a starting point in terms of writing as Electric Black as we're coming to know it?
Yes, Calendar Queen, the single, definitely is. It is part of the brand new bodies of work. Down to Ride, the acoustic one, obviously it's fully acoustic. That sort of just came out of lockdown. That was actually Matt suggested we put that on there, and I was like, "Dude, are you sure? It's got no drums." He said, "No, put it on there. It's a nice tune." And Calendar Queen was originally in a body of songs which we're now putting towards album 2.
Oh, okay.
So we brought it forward as kind of test the water with our writing, with our sort of our approach, and it was also a means of testing the water with Mike Exeter as our producer.
All right, yeah, nice.
So we got him on board for the EP, and funnily enough, everyone's gone, "Oh, the production's come up. Yeah, you guys, you're sounding better," which is obviously as we were hoping. It was a nice little moment, the EP. It's kind of like a line in the sand where we can go, right, this is where we're at, and this is where we're going. We're heading out this way. And I think we're pulling all the pieces together now, which is nice. It took 4 years, but I guess bands have to have turning points, don't they?
Exactly. I'm not being funny. I've been in bands for 7-8 years, and we haven't got that far, so I don't worry about it.
It all feels good, It feels like the right things are happening,
So did you record the EP during lockdown then, or was it sort of recorded in drips and drabs as such?
We recorded the EP last year out of lockdown. So it was done in two or three sessions. I think we did 2 sessions like instruments, and then we came back and did some vocals and mixing sessions. It came together quite painlessly, actually. We originally had sort of in demoing all the songs, we'd worked out tempo tracks that went all over the place, and we were like, right, we've got this to a T. We went there and we played, and Mike said, "It feels a little bit static. It feels a little bit flat."
Yeah.
And this was kind of, he wanted to sort of lean away from the tempo track approach and get us in a room playing together, which we didn't do with the first album because, I don't know, I guess it's kind of daunting when you don't have a grid to match to. Should you want to pull something in or line something up, you've got to really just get your shit right.
Bang fucking on it.
Yeah. But that was kind of refreshing because he said, you guys can do it. So get in there, and I'm gonna hit record, and we'll go from there. So the drums and bass were tracked in that room together live with us all playing.
That's great.
Some guitars thrown on top, and then vocals all done in a relatively short time. I classically got like an afternoon to do all the vocals. So as always happens, no, I didn't really. Mike, I will say one thing for Mike. He's very his approach with vocals is excellent. He really it gives the vocalist time and says, no, this is important. You know, if you need to come back, come back. You know, don't try and cram it all into an afternoon, and which sounds really obvious, but it's nice when a producer, you know, comes.
That's when you give them the time, though, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
If you're rushed on anything, you're never gonna do it as well you could if you've got that breathing room, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. And it was great having an outside perspective. You know, he's obviously he's very experienced. He's had a lot of good bands, and just to have him objectively, you know, analyze what we were doing, the way we were intending to approach it. You know, he's really sort of opened our eyes a bit in terms of how we could go about our business, and much, you know, for the better. Absolutely for the better.
That's awesome. That's nice when you've got an empowering producer, because I know plenty of bands that haven't had that on their sort of early work, and not only not capture the sound, but not really sort of encourage or push the band along. So for him to, you know, say to you boys, you've got it in you to do this as a live rhythm, you know, live tracking areas of it, and, you know, to give you the space to do what you need to do vocally, mate. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. You know, to have that person who has, you know, been around the block, knows their craft. Because, you know, our first album was essentially self-produced. We worked with a real sound dude at a local engineer, a real sound engineer at a local studio, Max. He's a lovely fella, you know, and he engineered the album great for us, and we kind of with him self-produced it. But it's just, you know, you don't get the same results as someone that's just knows how to set the mix up and has been in the game. And then now looking at pre-production for album 2, you know, he's there and he's evaluating songs and saying, why don't you do this? You know, that sounds a bit long there as a listener. And these are songs that we've been sort of playing and living and breathing in a rehearsal space for a few months now.
Yeah.
And again, that's so refreshing because it immediately gives us confidence that he's going to be pushing us in the right direction again. You know, it's that whole fifth Beatle thing, isn't it? You got that extra.
You don't want a yes man at the end of the day, though, do you?
No, and he's great for that as well. You know, I'm doing a vocal. Now you do that better. Do that again. Let's punch him for that one.
Yeah,
and I like that. I really appreciate that.
It's like you say, it's that honesty, isn't it? And like you see, pushing it. If you got someone who's constantly a yes man, then it's very easy. You know, we're all human at the end of the day. Everyone will get away with the bare minimum that they ever want to get away with. You know, if you've got someone who's just accepting everything you do, you do think, oh, okay, well, I don't, you know, I've got this, it's fine. But if you've got someone that's saying, come on, man, you've got another 10% here, I know you can give it. They'll always, I know for me personally, I've ever been in situations where people go, no, come on, you can do better than that. That's always fired me up even more. So that's cool that you've got that relationship with him where he can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it actually worked the other way with us as well. Sometimes we were perhaps a bit over analytical of particular takes and parts. And, you know, we'd be like, can we just drop in for that? Just hit that again. He's like, why? You know, it's a rock record. It's an organic song. And that's positive as well. And that's, you know, confidence inspiring. When he's like, no, that's a cool take, man. Stick with it, you know. Otherwise, you know, you can overwork and kill a project.
Chinese democracy.
Yeah.
You don't want one of them.
No, man. Let it breathe, man. You know, our genre of music needs to breathe. It needs to have that.
Yeah, it needs to have that slightly raw, jagged tooth edge.
Yeah.
That's what makes it.
Yeah, man.
You don't want your rock overproduced at the end of the day.
No,
you want it capturing that feel and that sound and that buzz that you get when there's nothing more disappointing for me as a fan, as just a rock fan, you know, when you go see a band live, especially an upcoming band or a band you might not have heard before, and live you go, fuck, these guys have got it, this is fucking brilliant, and you're enjoying their set and you're buzzing, and then you go and grab their EP or their demo or their album, whatever it is, and you go and grab off the merch store and you go home and you put it in the car and you go, oh, and it's not captured that buzz.
It hasn't got that, yeah.
It hasn't got that, which sounds like, you know, he's capturing it well on you guys. Certainly did with the EP.
No, it's cool, man. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, no worries. So you're saying you're looking at for album number 2. How far are you down that sort of process, man?
So we have 12 songs written. We have 2 songs lyricless, but the arrangements are there. I think we're going to look to get that put together and recorded in the first half of this year.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And then I don't know. I'm not entirely sure of the strategy, and I don't want to give away too much. But
Yeah, of course.
we're going to try and sit on it for a while.
Yeah.
Because something we've also learned from in our 4 years and doing the first album is, you ain't got to rush something out. You haven't got to rush putting something together, and then you need strategy and time and plans to put stuff out, which sounds really painfully obvious, but when we were thrashing about it, finding our way at the beginnings, oh great, it's done, sweet, look, we've got an album out. Nothing, absolutely nothing back, because you haven't built, you haven't strategized, and it's as important, if not more than what you're recording itself. So it's this year the album's gonna come together, and that's probably the best I should say.
Fair play. Fair play. But yeah, I know what you mean, man. You got to have that. It's got to come out. At the end of the day, when you guys are working as hard as you are on stuff like this, you want to make it have it the biggest impact. So, like you say, you got to make it come out at the right time and in the right way. So, fair play, dude.
That's what I mean. We missed all those memos. We didn't even know about those memos with album one.
It's all a learning curve. It's all
absolutely. That's it, man. That's it.
That's it. So, but going back to yourselves generally, you got some great live shows coming. Right? You're playing with Scarlet Rebels on their forthcoming tour, aren't you?
We are, yeah, with Rebels in Norwich, Feb 2nd.
Oh, sweet, you doing the Norwich date?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'll be coming up to that, man. So I'll see you.
Oh, there. Nice one.
Yeah, it's brickies, isn't it?
So yes, it is. So it's kind of a funny one. That I approached Peter at TMR essentially to try and get on some support slots with the Rebels.
Yeah.
And that was all it was going to be, and then we had a gig at the Gifford, and Gorilla Riot were playing there.
Oh yeah.
And he just so happened to be there. And then we had a bit of a chat afterwards. He said, "Oh yeah, I got your email, and let's talk." And from there we moved forward together. Yeah. But yeah, that Rebels date, that was essentially the seed that started the whole thing. Oh, but nice. Yes, we are doing that date.
That's cool, man. Well, I look forward to it. And I knew you were doing certain dates on the tour sort of thing, but I didn't know which ones you weren't and which ones you were sort of thing.
That's another new venue for us, so you can probably tell me more about it than what I know.
Oh, it's a good venue. Brickies is yeah, I mean, I used to play in bands myself up now in Norwich, and sort of locally it was one where you play the Brickies and you were doing a good gig sort of thing.
Nice.
Em, who runs it, she's an absolute diamond. I've worked quite closely with her because obviously, as well as doing my Just Push Play festival, I sort of do little shows here and there throughout the year. Not as many as I'd like, but like everyone else, I've got a 9 to 5. I've got bills to pay.
That's it.
And Just Push Play takes up a lot of my time, as does working with Stone Dead Festival and all of them involved in that as well. So don't get to do as many shows as I'd like to if I didn't have to worry about my mortgage like everyone else. But
yeah, that's it.
But Brickies is one of the venues I use. So yeah, sound guys over there top. Real
wicked. Top. Yeah, I mean, we look forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's Emily, one of the sound engineers. She's banging. Even if I think it's Emily. I'd have to check her name. I know it was one of those people I spoke to a million times. I could have a great conversation with her. I'm not 100% sure of her name.
I mean, that's an easy trap to fall into, isn't it? In the music world, because you meet so many people. There's so many venues, so many promoters, so many sound people, and everyone is lovely. So you can't often distinguish one dickhead from another because everyone's just in the sound boat. It's all good.
Exactly, mate. So you got any other gigs lined up coming up?
Oh God,
you just saw something about the emerging rock band stage thing. You got being put forward to that, haven't you?
Yeah, so that was cool. We've been nominated to open the Breaking Bands Festival along with 11 other bands. Some of them quite a bit larger than our followings, but we shall see. Yeah, so the vote opens for that next Saturday and runs for a week, I believe. We'll be plugging that and letting people know about that in the coming days. Other live dates. We're playing Hangar 18 with Revival Black.
Oh, brilliant. I was speaking there down the other night.
No, sorry. We're playing the Patriots with Revival Black.
Yeah.
We are playing Hangar 18 as part of the festival later this year.
All right, yeah.
The dates elude me right now. I can tell you, actually. I don't know how slickly you can edit this together. This is the sort of thing
we'll make it smooth.
I would have had more prepared.
It's all good, bud.
So yeah, the Revival Black Day is Patriots on the 22nd of May, and Hangar 18 Fest is the 22nd of April.
Oh, brilliant!
It's what we're playing Rockwitch Unplugged as well in August.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing an unplugged bit.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a new thing for this year, but I think it either runs, beside the main thing. I think Dax and Roxanne are doing an unplugged set.
Oh,
ourselves are doing an unplugged set, and I think one or two other bands as well. So I don't know if that will run as an unplugged stage or a different day. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't got a whole lot of live stuff booked, but we've got a lot of projects and a lot of planned stuff.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice to have one and not the other. Sometimes, as opposed to having all of it all the time.
Yeah, and it being overkill.
But it also gives us opportunity, to get any summer festival slots out of the way, and then we can book some live stuff later on in the year, perhaps.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's all go. So yeah, it's all good stuff, really.
Sounds good, man. Sounds like you got a positive view ahead of you, do?
I think so. I think it's gonna be our best year, definitely. But I mean, I don't know what that says, because maybe we weren't doing a lot the previous 3 or 4 years. Do you know what it is? I think
no one's been doing anything the last 2 years, mate. So.
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. We spent a bit of time, gigging locally as you have to, and I think we just kind of made a decision to start pushing and trying to grow. And surprise, surprise, you get more back from that, and you grow your map, your musical map. And it's great, and that's all really we've been doing, to be honest, and getting good receptions to stuff. That's all we can hope for. That's what we aim for.
So if you could go out and tour with anyone, supporting wise, who would you go out with? If you got a golden ticket to take Electric Black out on the road, supporting a dream act, who would it be?
Ah, man. I mean, the Foo Fighters don't play small shows, do they?
No.
I'm a big Rival Sons fan, so
Talking my language, yeah, man.
If they wanted to put us in the same room as them, that would be rad. So yeah, probably one of those guys. I mean, there's so many good bands that aren't the big established acts as well. The forerunners of the new wave of classic rock guys. Be great to go out with those guys. You see Wagon supporting The Darkness now. Those kind of things. Yeah, that all be good stuff, man.
You say that about Rival Sons, though, dude. The first time I saw them, they were playing the tiny stage at Sonsphere, and I think there was about 100 people watching them. No one seemed to know who they were. It was I was just fortunate that I think it was Pressure and Time was on a free CD with classic rock. And I used to chuck them in the car because I've always liked discovering new bands and new music, And I chucked this thing on, and Pressure and Time was in on that, and I was like,
what is this?
What's this? Something.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hang on, who's this? And I only heard that song, and I took a punt, and I thought, I've just been paid, it's I'm going to get this album. There's something telling me about this.
Yeah.
And I went and bought it and fell in love with the Pressure and Time album when it came out. And then it turned out they were playing Sonosphere Festival, which I was going to. So I was like, oh man, I've got to go watch these guys live. And it was brilliant for them. They were playing the Jägermeister stage, which I don't know if you ever went to Sonosphere when it was going on, but he used to have 2 main stages, and then they would sort of flick back and forth. So while someone was setting up on one main stage, there'd be a band playing over here.
Yeah, cool.
And then they would sort of go back and forth, and you just get the crowd walking back and forth between the 2 stages and such. But where they used to put the rising stage was genius. They used to put it bang in the middle, so you had to walk past the rising stage.
That's great.
To anywhere else,
great, isn't it?
Which obviously for the rising bands, they got so much footfall of people walking past and sort of going, "Fucking hell, who's that?" And then just watching them. And then when I first got there to watch Rival Sons, I think there was about I say 100, 150 people or whatever,
Unbelievable.
which was ridiculous.
Sick, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I was well happy because it was like I got to the front and that was easy as piss. I was quite happy, but then I turned around sort of 3/4 of the way through their set and it's sort of, back, man.
It's so great, isn't it, when you get in early doors with a band like that and that you really feel like they're your band, and you just see them grow. And it's, I remember me and John and our old bass player and a friend of ours went to see I think it was the Forum in Kentish Town, probably 6-7 years ago.
Great venue.
Yeah, it was cool. I don't know what the cap is, a couple thousand.
Something about that, I reckon. Yeah, 2,000, something like
that. So they played, to 2,000 people, and I was like, wow, these guys are absolutely insane. And then, handful of shows later, they've come full circle, and they are out with Lenny Kravitz, and then they're opening up for Sabbath, and I went and saw them, at the Roundhouse as a fully established act, and it's kind of like you, but not to the 100 people. I felt like I've grown with them.
Yeah, I know what you
mean. And kind of, when you're in a band and you see those bands do it, it really does inspire you, and you think, you listen to what they're putting out, and it's possible, and you see the shows they're doing. But yeah, what a band!
Great band. I used to get it a lot when I was at uni because I went to Norwich UEA and used to get a lot of bands and that. But I remember watching Blackstone Cherry and Rival Sons again were opening up for them. And I was walking from the car park. I'd left uni by this point. I was only sort of probably about 10 years ago now. And I was walking walking towards the venue. And Jay Buchanan's just stood like against the wall, being Mr. Rockstar, but having a smoke. And as I walked past him, I was lighting up. And he's like, "Oh man, can I borrow your light?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And I just went, "Yeah, man." And then I looked up and I was like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
And it wasn't that long after the sort of Sonosphere and High Voltage Festival. It was probably only a couple of months. So we stood there and had a little natter, and yeah, cool dude.
That is a sick story.
Yeah, there was what I used to love about UEA was you used to get a lot of the bands who were playing, they would come into the uni bar during the day because they sound checked or whatever. And it was hilarious. You go in there between lectures and they'd be like bowling for soup at the pool table, and you'd be sort of going, right, they're playing tonight, are they? But you always found that the people who, how can I put this nicely? The people who shouldn't have an ego did. And the people who probably you would expect to, you'd certainly forgive them for having an ego.
Right, yeah, in terms of talents and ability, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was all the X Factor rejects that used to come in with a big entourage, and you'd be going, "Fuck are you doing?"
Yeah. I think genuinely passionate musicians who, study their craft and haul their asses about and put the time in. They come without ego because they've done it. They've done the legwork. They've gone through the motions. I think all that bloody X Factor nonsense where people go from zero to hero in 6 months and they crash back down just as quickly because they got no genuine fan base. No one's really interested in them. It's just spoon-fed shit to the masses. So
this is it.
I'm so pleased to see the back end of that bloody thing.
That's what made me laugh when they said, "Oh, they're cancelling it." I thought, has anybody watched it for 5 years?
I know, right?
But like you say, man, it goes back to rock music is, and like you say, anything with craft. There's definitely other genres that people work from the backside of hip hop. I like as well as my rock. I like
absolutely, yeah.
I like a lot of hip hop as well. So stuff like that. Anything where you say, like you say, when anyone's working for the craft, done for want of a better term, the spit and stardust venues.
Yeah, man.
And wrote a million songs that were crap to find the one that was good, because we've all done it. We were clearing out our loft, and I don't know how it even got there, because I wasn't in this house when I wrote it. Somehow it's come along with me
it's travelled with you
from like mine to uni, back to here, and then like back to my mum's when I first left uni, and now up in my loft with like me and my wife's house, and we're clearing out some stuff over Christmas as you do. And I found a demo of music I wrote when I was about 13, and I was like, just this whole sort of CD copy thing, and I'm like, the hell's this? Put it on our stereo in the living room, and I'm like, oh shit.
I bet it took you right back, didn't it? Back to being 13 again.
I must have called out when I was like 13, 14, and it was like,
yeah,
this is awful. Why have I kept it? And I thought, well, probably because it was the first thing I ever recorded, and equally it was like, why did I ever think this was any good? This is awful.
That's part of the journey, isn't it?
Yeah, trying to do some bad imitation of Korn and Slipknot at that time, I think. But like you say, all part of the journey, man.
Absolutely.
part of their journey. So speaking of the journey and influences, though, I thought it'd be cool to get you to choose a little trio of songs to sort of try and get people to see, your insights and your favorite bands and influences and stuff and things that might have had an effect on the Electric Black sound. So what 3 songs would you like us to play on the radio show when we hear the interview?
I'd go for, so I'm quite a big Jet fan, a band I wish I'd seen before they, disbanded. And so Jet, they have a song called "Get What You Need."
Yeah.
I dig that. I think that's a cool vibe.
Cool.
I think as we've been discussing Rival Sons, we've got to have some Sons.
Always.
Maybe not go with one of the Predictables. I quite like the new album, to be fair.
Yeah, the last album was great.
Yeah, let's go with Back in the Woods.
Yes, tune.
And I reckon we've got to have some Stereophonics in there. For me personally, Vegas 2 Times. I think that's a cool tune.
That is a tune. I'm glad you said that. Not many people get. I think, in fact, 2 bands you go that I love that you just mentioned that I think I often love: Jet and Phonics.
Yeah,
that takes me back. Yeah, first gig I ever went to was Aerosmith at Wembley. My dad took me, and I was like 11 years old. And it was when the Phonics had just released their Just Enough Education to Perform album. No, it wasn't. It was the Performance and Cocktails album, and with Bartender Thief and all that on it. And I hadn't heard these guys before, and like my dad and his mate are kind of right. Hold our hands, Lee, because we're going down the front. And, if I'm this height when I'm 11, everyone's sort of up there somewhere. And I didn't know where I was going until we got to a barrier, and I just stood in front of it. And that was me for the next 6-7 hours.
Yeah,
but,
great band.
Yeah, that was brilliant, man. And I got to see them when I was at the UEA as well, when they did their Sex, Language, Violence Other album. They did like a run of arena shows for it, but they did 2 warm-up shows at 2 separate universities, and for whatever reason, Norwich UEA was one of them.
Sick.
It was great. A mate of mine worked in the box office on campus, and it was great because he just used to text me saying, "So-and-so is going to announce this show here. Am I putting 2 tickets aside for you and your dad?" Like, yes, please. And you did feel like a proper wanker though, because you'd go up and all the tickets would be sold out, and there'd be a big poster, say Phonics sold out, or Manic Trick Preachers were another one that sold out. And then I sort of just stood in the queue and got to the front, and Mike's there. Here you go, Lee. And hang on, I thought it sold out.
Angry mob chasing you behind.
Just more confused people, like, why has he got tickets and we haven't? What's he's done that's so special?
Well, it's true what they're saying. It's what you know. It's who you know, not what you know.
There it is, bud. But yeah, we'll lock in those choices, man. Great choices.
Nice. Cool, man.
That's good, bud. So what's the rest of the year look like for you guys then, man?
We've got a couple of video projects happening. One, next weekend.
Yeah.
And one following the weekend after that. So we're going to try and we are going to get a couple of videos in support of the EP.
Oh, sweet.
Get those put together and put out as soon as they're ready, basically. Build some other little content from those videos as well.
Yeah.
We are currently due to go to Spain, do a tour of northern Spain mid-late February into March. We're doing 10 days over there.
Oh, nice.
7 dates across 10 days.
That's intense.
Yeah, I mean, again, new to us, new for us, but we'll do what we do. We'll.
I did a similar thing a couple of years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, a different promotion company, I think, different agency to who we're going with. I mean, obviously, like I say, it's still a bit up in the air.
Yeah, of course.
With COVID and stuff. But it's in the books, and it's at the minute happening. And then, when we get back, it will be full steam ahead, I think, with album work.
Brilliant.
Probably look to get a first batch. We might do this in three sessions, I think.
All right, yeah.
And then depending how we go about its release and marketing it, release as and when we, see fit, and then the whole body can build as we go. And yeah, that'll basically be our year. Some, like I say, some live dates in amongst that, some festival slots in amongst that. Hopefully, breaking bands.
Yeah.
And then yeah, it'll be Christmas again.
Soon come around again, mate.
That's it. Yeah.
So you mentioned videos there. By the way, before we wrap the thing up, I love the video for Calendar Girl. That was great. When I was
Oh yeah, Calendar Queen. Yeah, it's
Calendar Queen. So not Calendar Girl. What am I on about?
Do
Calendar
you
Queen.
know, I have to say, that is a brainchild of Matt, our drummer Matt.
Yeah.
I kind of had in my head we'd do this like classically moody, dark, warehousey,
Yeah.
you know, because the tune's a bit swaggery.
Yeah, it's got full on swag.
But then it's got that sort of funky outro, and Matt's going, "Oh, it'll be wasted. It'll be wasted now. We can do better than that." And he's going, "We should be scientists, and then we'll go back to the 70s, and we'll try and discover the Calendar Queen." And I'm going, "Dude, are you nuts? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna pull this off?" But I tell you what, it was such fun. It was such fun.
I bet it was a lot of fun to record that, man.
And Paul, our videographer, I think it was probably a little bit more than he had factored in. I don't think he quite, anticipated the project, but he absolutely smashed it. He did such a great job, man. And we're really stoked with it. And it's done us some good legwork, you know, because a lot of people go, "What? Did you see that? Have you seen that video?" And
the video is brilliant. Like you say, it's probably had more impact than if you'd done your moody band video that you wanted to do. You know, it's there's a bit of fun in there, and like you say, I've not seen a video like that for a while. So
yeah, we kind of did the moody thing with "Love Is a Light," our first video off the first album. So we kind of thought we tick that box and we'll do something that, you know, maybe shows us our characters a bit more, and it's fun, you know, it's engaging. So yeah, it served its purpose. Did a good job.
Yeah, man, nice one. All right, dude. Well, we're going to play Calendar Queen at the beginning of the interview, but what song of yours would you like us to play at the end of your interview?
Oh, I think if you could play, let's do "Love Is a Light" off the first album.
Wait.
Love is a Light for the Lost is its official title. That could be cool because that was the lead single off the album, and then Calendar Queen's the lead off the EP. So yeah, we'll run those two.
All right, dude, that'd be great. Well, I'll lock that in. And
nice one.
Thanks for your time, early man. It's been good to talk to you, dude.
Thank you so much, mate. It's been lovely talking to you. We should wish we could talk some more. You know, it's all good, man.
It's all good, bud.
Absolutely.
All right, mate. Well, enjoy. And I'll see you. I'll see you in Norwich.
Yeah. Yes, mate. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Few weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that long. Only a couple of weeks to the Norwich gig, isn't it?
Yes, February? Mate. February. Yeah, February 2nd.
Yeah. So I thought it was only the early part, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that soon come round.
You certainly will, man. All right, dude. Well, I'll see you then. We'll have a beer.
Top man. Cheers, dude.
Yeah, man. Take it easy.
See you in a bit. Nice one.